is going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome back once again, everybody, to the Tuffy Talk live show. So excited to get this thing rolling here. Thank you all so much for joining in. We're excited to get this thing going and talking all things. Thanks to stay here once again with y'all. Once again, as we are now 24 days away from opening kickoff versus UConn, y'all. It's crazy to say, but it's counting down. It's getting closer and closer, and we are in the heart of fall camp. It was great, being at the Savage Wolf drawing yesterday, seeing all the guys and, seeing them all pretty exhausted, which is, it's great to see. I mean, it's good to know that the guys are getting some work done, and, the excitement is there, to say the least. I know Greg and I were just talking beforehand, and we were at 23 days and 23 hours, so we have crossed under the 24-day mark, but anyway, y'all. So as always, if you've been with us before, you know the drill. But if you haven't, just like we put in the comments, make sure to any questions, thoughts, comments that you have, make sure you put them in the chat, and we will get to all of them here today. We already got Benjamin, Matthew, Cam, Michelle already in the comments here. So appreciate everybody tuning in here with us. And Benjamin, you and I have actually met. I know you said here in the chat that we've never met in person, but I'm assuming you mean maybe everybody else. But Justin Cook, got a bone with you to pick that we will get to here in 1 second. But anyway, Greg, Macon, Michael, hope everybody's doing well, man.
Another week down.
Doing good, man. Doing good, man. Yeah. I thought it was really awesome, the Savage Wolves raffling.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're going to get to it, but I thought that was really awesome seeing the turnout there and the investment there. I don't want to steal thunder, but that was really cool.
Yeah.
We had a mutual friend win a prize. Did you see that?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I texted him right after the fact too. And he said, "Are you joking with me?" I was like, "No."
Yeah, I talked to him this morning. He was pretty stoked.
We got a friend of ours, Chris Selman.
Yep.
Who was the second to last name you picked. It's like, Chris, you won, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sorry, Michael. We'll stop talking about it now.
I know. Yeah, I know. We'll get to it, but yeah, no, our poor guy here, Michael Tracy here, was like literally in the last seven, in the top 7 leaderboard, all the way to like the last day. and I'm 99% sure that looking at the list, and even Steve Williams pointed out, was like, Michael was like the only top 8 person to not win. And I was like, of course he was. No, and I'm sitting here thinking he must have not won because everybody thinks that if Michael would have won, that it was rigged because the Tuffy Talk guy won. I'm like,
no, I wasn't the only one. I because I did check. I think only 5 out of the top 8 won. So there are some other people who donated a lot that didn't win anything either. So I'm not alone.
Cool. Yep. And Michelle, I think it was Greg that you posted this question here. What was the final amount raised by Savage Wolves? It was just over $67,000. I think it was $67,560. 490 different donators, went to that. And, Steve, Tom, and I were talking afterwards. And one of the things we were talking about is how, again, there was 490 different people that donated, over $67,000 that was raised. So, I mean, and we talk about it all the time with the Wolfpack Club, but like, so 500 give or take people donated. Well, there's 60,000 people that go to Carter Finley every day. So, I mean, if we can get
$2,
yeah. Or even just, again, like, a couple thousand people to buy a $20 ticket, you know what I mean? Like that could raise a lot of money. Again, there's some amazing prizes. Again, there's 26 different prizes, whether that was dinner with athletes, dinner with coaches, watching tape with Coach Gibson, getting the signed Torrey Holt football, like a bunch of amazing prizes out there, y'all. So if you haven't gotten involved already with Savage Wolves, Pack Wolves, wherever that may be, make sure to go and do that. And but I got to give a special shout out to Savage Wolves since they were kind enough to let us come and do the drawing for them, which was awesome. Great experience for sure. But I hope everybody enjoyed it too. It was definitely a learn on the go thing. Like it was kind of funny. Like, all the guys with the Savage Wolves was like, yeah, this is all just like, a foreign language to us. So they basically told me, set it up as you want. And I basically was like, well, we'll figure this out. And like I had brought like my lapel microphones to like put on your shirts, but it wasn't working. And so I literally had to do my vlog microphone right there at the last second. It was kind of hectic.
It came through well. I will say that it came through well.
It was good.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of thing though, Leighton, it's like you'll be able to say years from now when NIL is still here. I mean, it's still going to be here. It's like you were involved in the first thing, and so is Steve, and so is Tom, and that's really cool.
Well,
cool.
hey, it's all of us. And again,
I know. I mean, you were literally in the building when that happened. I was
You were boots on the ground.
Tuffy Talk, IPS, and Savage Wolves all working together there. That was really cool. So
yeah, no doubt, man. Got to give a shout out to our amazing following as well. We're almost at 8,200 subscribers on YouTube, which is amazing. So thank you so much for all the amazing support. It's been awesome. I know our Discord recently, man. It seems like every single time I open my phone, there's some new messages waiting in the Discord. So if you haven't joined our free Discord already, make sure to go and do that, as that tweet is pinned to the top of our Twitter profile. But go ahead, Michael.
I don't know if you saw it last night though. We had a UNC fan get in there, and I banned him real quick.
Oh, you did? Okay,
was it you? It was me too. So I don't know. I don't know who got to him first.
I couldn't figure out who it was. I saw somebody. You guys like, am I missing something here?
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, the
like first couple messages was weird, and then he started going after people. I was like, okay, you're clearly a troll. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. The content was rather disgusting, but does that mean we've made it?
I don't know, but I mean, but if you're a UNC fan, I wouldn't say you're not welcome, but if you're a UNC fan like that, then yes, you're not welcome. So, all right, well, let's get to it here. So first of all, some comments here. Don't worry, Benjamin, it was not rigged. That was literally the reason I was there, to make sure it was perfectly clear this is not rigged.
I was waiting for Lane to draw my name first. I would be like, yes!
I know.
Making Michael and Greg. I don't know how this happened.
Well, because I only drew one ticket, so how hilarious would it have been if I picked Macon or Michael? That would have been.
I was waiting. I actually thought he's going to say somebody on this channel, and he's going to be like,
"Yeah,
I don't know what to say."
Real quick, I don't know if anyone's heard of the comedian Bert Kreischer, but he does a bit where he bought like all the raffle tickets of a local school, and he won like 20 prizes, and he spent like 10 grand. It was ridiculous, but anyway, I digress. But it was great. I mean, they exceeded their goal by like 7,000 and some change, like you said, Leighton, and I think they're just starting to scratch their surface on the realm of possible. So I'm excited about the future of what this goes.
Yeah, I'll add to this too. Like already you've seen state fans go above and beyond what they thought people would do in the first year at least. And they've seen, and I don't know if you steal a thunder from what we talked about earlier, they've seen a good return on investment already, so to speak, right? Because this is an investment.
Yeah. And
I think the other part of the NIL investment though is like, the main thing is investing in players right here now. So I would say the real return on investment, in my opinion, would be wins, right? Wins on the field. So getting guys here is one thing. They produce they have the natural talent that you can coach up to get the win. So I would say to some degree, the investment has paid off early. Early returns are good, right? So it's an investment business now, right? So
right. Yeah. All right. So, Greg, do you have one more comment?
No, I was going to say we'll know more about it in the coming years. How those, like you were saying, how that's going to pay out. We won't necessarily get immediate results on some of this stuff, but the future is bright. That's for sure. And so, thanks to everyone that has donated and will continue to donate.
Absolutely. And Benjamin said actually something I agree too. That was my first time last night meeting Noah Potter and the transfer from Cincinnati defensive end. That dude is huge, big man for sure. So excited to see what he can do. And then Matthew in the chat, Greg, says he needs to come check out your tailgate. So
absolutely. All is welcome.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So that being said, we got to jump into some content here. So the first thing I'm going to bring up here is a tweet, but it's definitely not tweet of the week, as I was not a fan of it this afternoon when I saw it. This we hear from Jim Williams, which I mean, I know that first of all, Jim Williams, when you look at it, he's not like, a huge following per se, but I mean, there's been many other tweets that have been just like this. So I mean, obviously it's a legit thing. But basically in this tweet saying the Pac-4, which is basically the four remaining Pac-12 teams, Stanford, Cal, Oregon State, and Washington State, will talk about with the ACC about a merger. The ACC legal team feels with the additions of the four that it could open the door for a better TV deal with ESPN, keeping FSU and Clemson happy. It is a very long shot, almost making it seem like it was exciting. And
so you're saying there's a chance.
Which I basically came out and said I could not hate this anymore. I absolutely hate just for a variety of reasons. Let's start with them. First and foremost, Stanford, Cal, Oregon State, Washington State. None of the four of those, and besides, I mean, maybe back in the Aaron Rodgers, Marshawn Lynch days for Cal, and then the Christian McCaffrey, Andrew Luck days for Stanford. Besides that, in today's day and age, those are not four teams that really draw eyes. Like, those are not really four people that would be must-watch TV, and none of the four of them, as far as I know, have any special rivalries within the ACC that would bring interest. Like, at least,
I mean, Stanford a little bit with Duke, but that's
no. Hold on, keep going, Lane. Keep going. I guess I have a thought to that. Keep going.
Well, but also too, as well, and another thing that I want to say here too is that I actually did a little bit of research. So, I mean, go ahead and give your thoughts.
Here's my only thought, and I still don't think this would have. I don't think this is enough to make it happen. But you bring in specifically, if you were to bring in a team like Stanford, that is one of the major rivals of Notre Dame. So It is a thing. Do I think it still would happen? No. But this Jim Williams guy, I don't know who his the blue check mark doesn't mean as much somewhat anymore.
Day and age,
but he's up here in my neck of the woods in Northern Virginia.
But I will say Pete Thamel, how you pronounce his name, of ESPN, college football senior for ESPN, did report about an hour ago and a few other places that there's a tweet up there. What would Cal and Stanford to the AC look like? And there is some legit talk about it. He went on TV and said ACC to have exploratory discussions on adding Cal and Stanford.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think the other from a TV side, because obviously this is how it's all revolving around TV right now, that would give the ACC, if Stanford and Cal are in the ACC, that would give the ACC a late night spot. Technically, so I think that's another reason they're looking at it.
So what TV markets are Cal and Stanford?
So Cal is San Francisco,
Stanford is San Francisco too. I think Pasadena.
Stanford's
LA, Pasadena.
Yeah, no, not really.
Is it not?
No, they're both in the Bay Area.
Yeah,
or you would get the San Francisco TV market, which is not nothing.
No, it's not nothing, but it's not really moving the needle.
Had that be an ACC game on at 10 p.m., right? So that they would have a game in every time slot of the day on Saturday, noon, 3:30, 7:30. And right now there's no ACC teams that play later than the 7:30 or 8 o'clock game. So
and that's the thing is that what if you start having some 10 p.m. starts, for us on the East Coast, like
brutal.
And then again, I mean, like if you're a fan that wants to travel. Nobody's going to travel to see NC State play Oregon State besides Greg. That's the only person who's going to go see it.
Hey, I would travel out there to go see us play one time.
One time. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Now, Greg, if you're a real fan, you'll make it every time.
Every time, I know.
Hey, how will it work in the rivalry thing? Like, it had to be like every other year we played them. How would that work out?
I would definitely get my frequent flyer miles, right? And I think that's kind of the point of a lot of these realignment discussions is it's taking away that regional feel of these games where, Brett Murphy, is it McMurphy or Murphy? McMurphy. Yeah, he dropped a tweet last night about it was either Arizona or Arizona State's travel, and it was just, I mean, it's brutal for the Big 12. I mean, going to games, because Arizona's all the way at the very bottom. So when they go up to, northern part of the Pacific coast, that's bad. And then West Virginia was bad. And then like UCF was bad. It just makes it really difficult. But on a side note, one of our baseball players, Carson Falskin, he's out from California, and his brother recently, I think last year, committed to Oregon State. And I was joking with his parents about an hour ago. I said, so your son's going to be playing in the ACC after all, because it could happen.
Hey,
and that's brutal for
a
baseball.
Former NC State quarterback who has now transferred to Cal.
I mean,
he'll be long gone.
Yeah,
and a former Clemson quarterback.
So
all right, he's Oregon State. That's right.
Oregon
DJ.
State.
DJ. Yeah.
So let me jump in here with a couple of points I wanted to make, because I did a little bit of research. Not too much.
Like, you guys are stealing my thunder.
No. I'm just sitting here looking at these numbers, being like, God, this is just anyway. So the first and foremost thing is, I mean, I got to give a shout out to Eli Drinkwitz, who former NC State offensive coordinator, guy that I've said it publicly, not necessarily the biggest fan of him necessarily from his time at NC State, more from the manager side, but man, he absolutely spoke some words today. So if you haven't checked out his speech, I mean, pretty much a lot of what I'm about to say goes right off it. The first and foremost being that now the heart, like, how he brought up, example of how, he's had recruits who said, I'm staying, regional. If, like, for example, in his case, if they're from the Missouri area, how they chose to come to Missouri. So that way their families can come into all their games, and stay local. And so now, if you're, anybody in the ACC, like, parents wise, it's going to be very, very difficult to go to, games at Stanford, Oregon State, Washington State, Cal, you name it, so that's definitely a negative. But also too, I want to point out, so I actually did a little bit of research, and the furthest commute between two ACC schools is Miami and Boston College. Boston College. They're 1,261 miles between each other. Now, the furthest of the four, if they were to add the four Pac-12, which I know that, now it's kind of been more Cal and Stanford, but Oregon State
and Miami,
would be,
right?
So Oregon State and Miami would be 2,718 miles between each other. And just to give a little bit of context, the furthest point between the 48 states, aka taking out Alaska and Hawaii, is 2,802 miles. So literally it's only 80 miles less, give or take, to go from one side of the US to the other than it is for Miami and Oregon State to play against each other. Like, I mean, if they were to do like a home and a home or whatever that may be. And you may say, well, what does that really matter? A couple of things. First and foremost, I mean, Michelle talked about it, with the non-revenue sports. And that's my biggest thing. Then the biggest pain point is that baseball and even maybe softball, okay, I could get why, because it's they play a weekend, versus each other. So they're staying for a couple of days. But, for like volleyball, wrestling, these sports that don't play series against one another. I mean, what are you expecting them to do? You expect them to go and play and then get, back on a flight and come home, and because, I mean, these are 5-hour flights, if I'm guessing, 5-6 hour flights, depending
easily.
on.
Easily.
Like
I've flown cross country. It's 5 hours.
Yeah, and again, I mean, these players fly commercial. They don't fly private like the football teams do. I mean, shoot.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. No, you're correct. I misheard you at first.
Yeah. And again, I mean, so it's like if you're volleyball, I mean, it's like, what are you going to do? I mean, dude, that's a 2 or 3 day trip alone, and they got to make it back to classes. They got to get back, because I mean, even football, like one of the biggest reasons why they do it the way they do, where you basically fly out Friday and then you come back Saturday right after the game, is so that way the players can, be a part of, minimize their class losses. And, if you're these other sports, that's going to get affected. And then even on the football side, another thing as well, which I'll have to add in there, is that people are saying, well, it's not going to affect football. Well, one thing I will say from my experience being a manager is, like, I'll just kind of walk you through, like, this is a general Friday. Like, if you were to go into an away game, like, let's say to, Boston College, right? So typically the walkthrough on Friday will happen about 9:30. It'll take about 30 to 45 minutes to do the walkthrough. They'll get on the bus, go to RDU, fly out a little bit afternoon, 1 o'clock, something like that, and usually get there about 3:30, get to the hotel, start their, meetings and whatever, and just kind of settle in, trying to get over the jet lag, right? Well, now if you're flying to Stanford, which is 5 hours away, I mean, what are you flying in?
You're probably getting on the road around 9 o'clock in the morning just to get there.
Oh yeah, you're skipping walkthrough, or you're doing it there.
You're leaving probably you're leaving on a Wednesday, right?
No. You would still leave on Friday. I mean, you could still leave on Friday, but it would just greatly shorten the amount of time. Because one of the biggest reasons why they wanted to get there early is to get over the jet lag. They wanted the guys to get.
That's my point. So then, once you leave that much earlier, then
so maybe on Thursday, you leave on Thursday.
But then you have an extra night of hotels. That ain't cheap. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
Or missing classes,
the hotel rooms.
But the whole theory is right. The whole theory is TV revenue should help make up for that, right?
No, it's not going to.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it's like. I think this whole ordeal we're talking about without any Cal and Stanford's not. I agree with you.
Well,
if you were playing the Big Ten or the SEC, maybe.
Sports Channel 8 broke it down beautifully. It's only 3 turns from Stanford to Duke.
Yeah, the drive. I saw
Did you see the drive?
You just get on 40 East.
Just go 40. But
That's funny.
Yeah, it was pretty good. But yeah, and you mentioned it a few minutes ago, Leighton, about the non-revenue and they're flying commercial. What if their game or match goes longer, right? And they miss, they could be sitting at airports for hours and hours.
Or delays,
the football team literally showers, gets on the bus, and gets on the plane. Within a half hour, 45 minutes of leaving the stadium. I think you said it right. Like Drink. He said, like, did we even take the welfare of these student athletes, the mental health aspect of it? Just the grind. The grind is going to be insane.
Again, I heard it best being said by Dennis Cox from 99.9 saying, I do not want to hear one more athletic director or one more conference commissioner saying our first and foremost priority is the health and well-being of our student athletes. No, your first and foremost, and your second priority and your third priority is money. Simple as that. And again, I'm not saying every athletic director, but I'm saying a majority of the ones that are pushing this.
No,
I'm not calling out Boo Corrigan necessarily, but I'm saying like the FSU board.
I think this is more a statement on the commissioners rather than the ADs. I mean, it's
agreed.
Well, I mean it's like the presidents. It's not so much the ADs, right? Like
right.
ADs.
Randy Woodson is what you're getting at.
Yeah, well, they have to. They're the ones that allow the teams that come into the conference. It's the presidents that vote on it, not the ADs.
Now again, we're not calling out Woodson. We're not calling out anybody from here.
But it's not that it's directly that they're going after the money. It's that they're protecting their own assets, which then money becomes a byproduct of that, and you can't have one without the other. And it's
absolutely
either you are eating or you're being eaten at this point. So you have to go after it, or you're going to get left behind, and then you're going to really lose out. I mean,
then you can't. Yeah.
Because here's the other thing too: is these athletics do drive other programs within the institution. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's they do put money back into the educational funds for that. So if that money kind of dries up or becomes a lot less, what are you going to be able to offer your students in the long run?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and go ahead, Michael, please. I've said a lot.
Well, in football, like you were saying, Greg, I mean, football is the moneymaker for a lot of the other sports that exist. Can do so because of the revenue that comes from football. It's unfortunate. It's the reality. So schools have to look out for football first, really, to support the rest of the athletic departments.
Yeah,
I'd be curious to get I feel like one thing we're not hearing from at all in any of this is like former recent athletes.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be very curious to hear their input on this. Like let's say you got like a Reggie Gillespie, like his input on how this would be, what he would do this, because all I'm hearing talk are like commissioners and athletic directors and TV talking heads and fans.
Mm-hmm.
Not actually hearing. I mean, and then now recently you're hearing some coaches. I don't actually hear any players commenting on this.
Yeah, it's almost like they've been muzzled about the whole thing.
I'd be curious to hear like if you could get an input on something like a recent athlete what they would say to all this.
Yeah, agreed. And
maybe
one last
episode.
Point.
Well, real quick too, we talked about everything else, but your travel budgets are going to get blown up. Like, now these baseball teams and the non-revenue, heck, wrestling gets in freaking buses and vans and goes most of their meets. Like when they wrestle in Pittsburgh, they're on a bus. Like,
right.
They're not traveling in style.
Well, and again, I mean, imagine $1,000 ticket for all your players, to fly to wherever on the West Coast. So, and the last thing, which I'll add as well, and my last point here, which I researched, is I found an article which had the TV viewership of all the college football teams in the country in 2021, and Stanford ranked 46th. Washington State was 59th. Oregon State was 69th, and California was 76th.
Yeah.
Now I do want to add in that, I mean, like ACC isn't necessarily, I mean, like Boston College is 84th, UNC is 36th, Wake Forest is 56th, Virginia 52nd, Clemson 19th, Florida State 25th. So I mean, it's not like necessarily like we're like killing it, but it's just like, what are they adding for us? Like, what is it really adding?
If you're going to add, they have to. Yeah, they have to add value. So you can't
like
add somebody that's just as bad as.
That's what the whole argument about West Virginia was. Like, hey, we're like, hey, they're a regional team, the Big 12, they're so close to ACC, let's add them. But they don't add anything financially because you have to increase the pie substantially while also adding teams. So the value of that every team is key. That's why Notre Dame is so huge, because if you could ever get Notre Dame to sign on, it's like.
It's basic economics,
right? Now, the last thing about HLI though is that at least the one thing that West Virginia would bring is the West Virginia Pitt backyard brawl rivalry. I know that game last year did pretty, but I mean that game last year had really great viewership. I mean, it's a rivalry that has a lot of history.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah, so that's fair.
And the other names that were floated out there were SMU. Because you get that, you get the Dallas market. That's the only draw is you get that Dallas TV market, and then UConn again was kind of, then there'd be kind of our natural rivalry for Boston College and Syracuse, but again they don't move the needle when this comes to football. You hear ECU thrown out there. You could add 20 of those teams and it would not even increase the revenue.
I really thought the best ran teams were Oregon and Washington because they had the Portland and Seattle TV market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or Arizona because the Arizona school because they had the Phoenix market. So
Tucson, and Phoenix for Arizona State. The one thing that the rumor is they were close to maybe doing something before the Pac-12 kind of dissolved. The talks were bringing all of those schools on board before they went to the Big 12. I guess they were enough. Yeah, exactly. They were probably a couple of days away, and you snooze, you lose, right?
Yeah. So I want to touch on a couple of comments here before we jump on over some tweets of the week here. So Michelle also brings up the logistics of getting the equipment there. Like I know for football, you drive a tractor trailer.
To leave early. That trailer's had to leave. I thought the same thing. Yeah. To leave early.
Yeah. No. So I mean, and because the thing to keep in mind is that you take all the game equipment, all the game, shoulder pads, the jerseys, everything. So it's like for practice, I mean, because that trailer's gonna have to leave Tuesday, and that's when practice starts. So
do they have multiple sets? Like could they have a set of pads for practice and then ship your game pads? Like that's really not a thing. I didn't think it was.
No.
Yeah, that's.
Unless you did thud, I mean, basically, you get so basically, if you did non-shoulder pads, you wear a thud protection thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, Tuesday is usually full pads. So, yeah, no. So again, that's definitely going to be a logistics nightmare. Great point there, Michelle.
Yeah, you would. I mean, at that point, you would probably get on the road Wednesday. You probably have two drivers. You probably wouldn't stop. You just keep rolling. Something to that effect.
And then come back though too. Jeez, man.
Right. You got to be back by Monday, right? For practice.
And then what if you play two of those teams in the same season?
Yeah, that was the other thing I was thinking about. Who would the natural crossover? Who would get stuck with that every year, right?
Right.
Because you would have four.
You'd have to adjust something, I think.
Yeah.
There's no way you could do that.
I mean, there's
no way the Pac-12 to do that. But
whoever's farthest west gets them.
Yeah.
Pitt.
Well, that's the thing, though.
Louisville.
But that Pac-4, whoever comes from that Pac-4, they're going to be having they're going to be taking a blunt of it because they're going to have to go multiple times to the East Coast, multiple times. So
I just can't see it happening.
It just doesn't make sense. But anyway,
go ahead.
I got another thought. I was wondering about the grant of rights being the thing that holds. Lade, you want to move on, buddy?
We just got so much to get to, but go ahead.
The grant of rights is been a thing we've been saying. Hey, it's the only thing holding the ACC together right now, right? It's like the dam that's going to break at some point. But I also wonder, maybe I'm wrong, and I don't fully understand it. I've been curious as to why the ACC's not been adding schools.
Because
why?
The rumor is if you do that, it potentially opens the loopholes up to where you're now doing a new TV deal, which then would kill the current grant of rights. That's a rumor out there. No one's really, I think, to your point, no one has validated if that really happens. And I think the question's been asked, but
I wondered if it was the fact that we have the grant of rights at all. Like, why would you join the grant of rights? The ACC, the grant of rights. I don't know how it works. You would have to sign yourself up to that.
That too. You're signing up through.
So I wondered if it's like, as much as we're saying, hey, whoever did that person's a genius. It's like now it's looking like it's a double-edged sword because it's holding it together for now.
Yeah,
but
it's
no
also
one's
dividing
signing up for it.
But it's
no
also
one's signing up for it, right? So why didn't West Virginia hop on board quickly? I would have thought. I mean, AC doesn't have necessarily mutual interest there, right? I just didn't know if maybe that's actually hurting the ACC at the same time it's holding us together for now, kind of thing. I don't know. I don't understand it all, but
it's very fragile.
I'm done, Leighton. That's my thought of the week.
You're good. Well, luckily enough, making for you this first tweet of the week right here. We're gonna be bringing you right in.
Is it basketball? I know it's a basketball. He's in.
Totally. No. So that being said, let's jump on there. Some tweets of the week, y'all. Here we go. All righty, our first tweet of the week, y'all. Here, the announcement of Jonathan Paylor, baby, 4-star athlete, top 100 recruit in the 2024 class from Burlington, North Carolina, has committed and is running with a pack, y'all. That was a huge get. And then literally 10-15 minutes after he finally announced, Josh Alexander Felton from East Coast,
Orlando.
right? Orlando. That's right. Yeah, Orlando.
Yep.
3-star defensive end committed to NC State as well within, again, about 15 minutes of each other. And I mean, I think for me, Terrell, I know there was a lot of reports about Terrell Anderson possibly being there to watch him commit. And but he got held up at practice. So he couldn't make it. But I mean, but I think that there's, no doubt that, that those two are in it together, and there's only one school that they were both considering. Jonathan Paylor picked it, and I don't see any reason why this Friday, August 12th, that we don't hear the exact same news from Terrell Anderson as well.
Saturday.
Yeah, he got another prediction today from one of the national 24/7 guys.
I saw someone say that like Steve Wilfong, if he puts in a guess, it's like 99 times out of 100, it's correct. So I saw he did get one wrong though. Did you see that guy on social media? He picked South Carolina, and the guy picked Auburn. Some fan lost his mind.
Yeah, there was a dude from South Carolina that was losing his mind about the Paylor. Actually, there was a couple of them. I thought the funniest one was when they saw the South Carolina hat that they knew that he wasn't going to.
Come on, that hat.
He literally got that at like Dollar
It was
General.
like black and white South Carolina. He picked up. He crossed the border, went to the rest stop, and said, "I'll take a hat."
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he bought it on Etsy.
And like the Penn State one, like the Penn State was blue, the same as the color of the hat itself, so you couldn't even see it was Penn State.
Great.
North Carolina just said North Carolina, and then
written in crayon.
They also pointed out how the NC State hat was on the right side and Paylor's right-handed, so it kind of made sense as well. So,
jeez, yeah, this is what we're in. We're doing jumbotron, John Madden circles and X's, and
getting Paylor is a big deal from a recruiting pedigree standpoint and what it means for other recruits being interested in the state. I mean, hey, if people are getting mad at state with the NIL thing, that's part of the game now, right? It's part of the game now. If you got to, I don't know. I just feel like state has gotten the other side of that so many times under the table that it's like now that we actually are doing that and we're allowed to help out.
You mean like, bam?
Right. Well, I'm just saying, it's like it to me. I'm like it's ridiculous and irritating. They're like complaining about this. I'm like just because now the playing field can be shifted a little bit, you guys are like throwing a hissy fit. Like it's just ridiculous. So
the one question I would have, they have him listed as an athlete. Is there any doubt that he's going to be a wide receiver?
I don't think so. I think so. Like I've heard other sites that I'm almost all the hoop. I've seen other sites say he could potentially be a good fit at like a running back kind of position. He could be like a specialist, like kick returner kind of thing, punt returner.
I think he's definitely going to be just like Naheem Hines.
I would say slot kind of guy,
slot receiver, returner. Yeah.
Kind of a Swiss Army knife type.
Yeah, whatever Hines did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, especially with a nice offense where, like, look at, what's his name from Syracuse, which I'm totally blanking on his name. Gadsden, like, he's a tight end, but he got, he stood up and, he was in the backfield. He was in the slot. Like, he was all over the place.
Does the jet sweep make a reappearance?
I mean, as long as they actually hand it off to the jet sweep this time, right? So
as long as it's not window dressing and we're throwing a screen off of it.
Yeah, right. So, Justin says, not done yet for the football team. Yeah, no, we will hopefully again this Saturday have some news and got some cheers from Michelle as well.
Real quick. Was there any doubt that Joshua Alexander Felton was not going to go to state with all like the gear and stuff that he wore for his promo shoot? I mean, he was literally all in. He had the ice pack jersey. He had the old diamond helmets. He had it all.
The picture was pretty sweet.
It was. Yeah, the edit. Yeah.
Especially that red helmet. That red helmet's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it was just. I was like, I would be 1,000% shocked if he didn't commit to state, and obviously he did. But it was just. I was like, this dude is all in. He had the Letterman jacket. I mean, he had everything. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he went to Red and White Shop before he went over to Carter Finley to do this.
Well, especially to have the ice pack jersey. I'm assuming. I would love it if Coach Doran and football staff had an ice pack jersey laying around. But I'm assuming he probably brought that in, which is awesome. No. So huge shout out. And I know the ice pack were all over it, being like, "Hey, Josh, come to a game. We'd love to have you." So
I will say though, if you watch his film, he has a really good ability to get to the quarterback, to kind of shed blockers off of him and get there. I imagine he's probably going to do. I didn't rush that deal with like his hands, but he seems like he can kind of bull rush people and shed guys off of him a little bit. And he'll need more technique when he gets to college. But I like his film. I mean, he comes off like when I see now we do the 3-man front for our 3-3-5 scheme. I noticed our ends are bulkier. He's like your bulky defense end, like that Savion Jackson.
Yeah,
he's Davin Van kind of.
He's kind of a tweener between a tackle and an end. Like he kind of.
That's what they kind of look like now. Like I could see that. So it was interesting to me. It's good film. So
yeah. Well, and so for the sake of time too, we do have some other tweets of the week, but for the sake of time, last week we weren't able to get to your fans 2023 NC State football season hot takes. So we're going to go ahead and get right into those here. And, I know that myself and anybody who follows college football follows Josh Pete with 24/7. And, he loves doing his, hot take rankings, whether or ratings, from scale of 1 to 10. He does like 9.25 and all the way down to the second decimal point. I'm like, no. Well, so let's do it from a scale of 1 to 10, just whole numbers here. So let us know in the comments, y'all, what y'all think in terms of how hot of a take is it. 10 being the hottest of hot, being that Virginia is going to win the ACC this year. That is like
that's a 20.
10. That is a 20. That is like holy smokes. And then a 1 being that NC State has the best red in the ACC. That's not really much of a hot take. So, anyway, y'all. So let's jump into the first hot take here. Coming in here, Brandon Armstrong will win ACC Offensive Player of the Year. And just to give a little bit of context before we give out our ratings here, as of right now, the favorite to win it is Drake May. No shocker there. You got Macon with a lighter.
That's a hot take. I'll say right now.
And then Jordan Travis second, and then Will Shipley third. Those are the 3 guys who receive votes for ACC Offensive Player of the Year. Got Benjamin saying it 8, Connor saying it's 6. Wow. All right, so Macon, since you came in with the awesome prop right there,
it was sitting right there. I had to grab it. That's a hot take, man. He's good, but I don't know if he's going to be that. He might be if a lot of things have to go right, but I don't know, man. I mean, so Offensive Player of the Year, better than May. Better than Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis is going to be everything for that Florida State team. I mean, if he stays healthy, he might be Offensive Player more than May. But
so what rating would you give it?
Me, I'm going to give it a 9 or 8 or 9. That's a hot take. Let's give it an 8 because he can see because Armstrong can run and throw. He's going to have a season like he had 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But also too, like Michelle adds it here, saying the media is never kind in state. I mean, obviously, guys like
It'll have to be
May and
convincing.
Jordan Travis and Drake May, just are media sweethearts. So they're going to give it to them as much as they can.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So Michael, Greg, anything you'd add to that?
I mean, I'm gonna Price is Right, make it and go 9. So
yeah, that's a hot take. I mean, like my thing is though, like, is it impossible? No. But so like, who would be the candidates to me? It would be May, Travis. People probably put Klubnik in there.
Will Shipley was the other guy.
Will Shipley.
You got Leonard Riley. I mean,
Riley Leonard.
Sorry, yeah, dyslexic RI.
I think
Tyler Van Dyke.
I think Mays has a better chance to do that than Leonard. Van Dyke. I don't know.
I'm just throwing out names. So I'm
trying to think across the ACC. Other.
What about that?
That's probably it. That's probably it. That's
Florida
probably
State's got a good running back.
Trey Benson.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's probably it. So he's probably in your top 5 or 6 options for offensive play of the year. I just don't. I think Jordan Travis is going to win it if he's healthy.
And we got anonymous coming in here saying if Armstrong wins AC Player of the Year, State will win the championship.
I would agree.
That's the only way he can.
That's a one. That's a one hot take.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think that's honestly the only way that Armstrong will win AC Offensive Player of the Year is if NC State wins the AC championship.
Agreed.
Or even makes it.
Right.
He'll be named that before that. He'll have to. He'll have to be like in the championship game, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it gets announced that week.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you got Michelle, Cam, got Connor with a 6, Cam with a 6, Michelle with a 7. In game said 6 or 7 because the media will be foaming at the mouth. See what fake May does. You got Vincent with an 8. Benjamin brings up Garrett Schneider from Syracuse. Schrader.
Yeah. Now that he's lost a 9, I don't think he's gonna. I think he's gonna revert back to his 2021 year.
Yeah, but it was not good.
But then Vincent brings up that that he did have that amazing season 2 years ago, so he can do it.
He can, but he's going to have
precedent.
There's a precedent. He has to do that.
So now moving on to our next fan hot take here. Our chances at winning the ACC this year are better than they were last year. And to give a little bit of context in terms of Vegas had us last year as a 10-1 odds to win the ACC. This year we're at 20-1 odds. So technically for Vegas, it's not better. But
let's just say we're looking at the beginning of the year.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you have to. Yeah.
And quickly make it before you say something. Make sure to let us know in the comments, y'all. Your scale from 1 to 10, 10 being hot. Go ahead, Macon.
Me. Wow. So last year, who did we lost a few players on defense? Did we lose we lost offensive line? We lost Zavala. We've lost Devin Carter.
So okay, we're talking about this year's team. What we've lost?
I'm trying to compare. Yeah. We lost Devin Carter. We lost Zavala.
Well, let's keep it big picture. So, look at the ACC in general. How much stronger is AC compared to how we are? Just keep it more general ACC.
I would say.
I think the ACC this year is better than it was last year.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of questions on some of these teams.
I'm going to say. I am going to say that that's. I don't necessarily think that. I think it. I will say the potential is that the ceiling is higher from a offensive standpoint this year. I think. I don't think I'm on board with this one. I think it was probably neutral. Even I think maybe a lean to State last year because I didn't think the ACC was just dominant last year. Because who was in the tournament game when the championship?
Carolina and Clemson.
Clemson, yeah. And I didn't think Clemson was super great last year, and Carolina wasn't super great. So I'm going to say no. I disagree with that.
Well,
but I'm giving.
How hot of a take is it? How hot of a take is it?
Yeah, I'm going to say a 7. I'll go 7.
Yeah, Michael.
I think. I don't know. It's tough because you got hindsight on last year. I mean,
true.
So you have to kind of.
You have to go.
Yeah, you have to kind of think what was I thinking at the beginning of last year?
We were hyped.
Yeah, right. I know.
People were hyping us.
We were hyping ourselves.
I think the fact that
we were too.
Yeah. I mean, we started out number 13.
Yeah.
I think the fact that we get
I mean, that should tell you all you need to know.
Yeah. I think the fact that there's no divisions and we get all our hard games at home this year, I think that makes it a little bit better this year, even if the team on paper is not as good as the team last year.
Because I will add in that there's been 3 times this year, or 3 times in Doran's era, where we have had the second best ACC record in the ACC, but Clemson would go because Clemson was better than us. So anyway, go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, I think this is a 7 or 8 again. I just don't feel the hype that we had last year. We were literally saying we were going to lose 1 or 2 games in the conference last year. I don't think any of us feel that way this year. At least at the beginning of the season. Now, that's not to say, again, that we don't have faith in our team and that they can't go out and surprise everyone, because they can. I feel like there's more questions on this team than last year's team. And for me, that would then negate our chances of winning the ACC championship. So that's why I'm going to say a 7 or 8. Lean 8.
So we got Connor in here saying 3, Cam saying 3, Benjamin saying 4. In game saying -1. We're winning it all this year. Michelle saying 4. Chow saying 8. Cam coming in here saying Clemson, Miami, UNC at home. No divisions. Don't have to play FSU.
That's my.
I love our chance to get to Charlotte. So much I've placed bets on it. Yeah.
I mean, I think the no divisions is significant.
Here's the thing I will say. We're going to learn really quick after that Notre Dame game, with them being like what, 10, 11, 12, 13, somewhere in that. What number they came.
So I was listening to a podcast that's saying that Notre Dame is going to be really, really good.
Sure.
Do you mean like
they say that every year about them?
Really
good. Every year on paper they should be good. I mean, they're Notre Dame. I don't know.
I have no idea. I've not studied on them, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Sam Hartman doesn't scare me as their QB.
Yeah, well, and we'll see. We'll find out. We'll find out a lot about both our teams that second game of the year.
We'll know quick.
We'll know quick.
So yeah, no. Again, I mean, for me, like I would put this as a 7. I think that I'm saying that more if I'm looking at it after the first game, ECU, because I think ECU kind of was where you learned a lot about the team and what holes there were. So I mean, I think that. I'm putting it as a 7, mostly just like Cam was saying, a lot of the all the hard games really are at home, which is great. And there's no divisions. And, again, Doran 3 times in his in his 11 years, NC State has had the second best AC record. So,
and the last thing I want to say real quick is it seems like we perform better when we're not being hyped up. Right. So
100%.
So in those terms, you could kind of, maybe take that hot meter down 1 or 2 notches. So
let's go to the next one. Go to the next one.
Yep. All right. So our next one here, Michael Allen makes first team all ACC with over 1,200 yards and 7+ touchdowns. First team all ACC.
1,200 is a lot.
7 touchdowns is not a lot. It's not. That's reasonable.
Yeah.
1,200 is like.
And considering we haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher since
Reggie
Gillespie. Yeah. So to me, this isn't a hot take. This is a weed take. Like someone is on drugs. So
no, it can happen. It can happen. But the thing is, though, here's what's got to happen, and I am not wishing this. Jordan Houston's going to have to get hurt.
Well, I agree. I disagree with that.
Well, but
you think it's possible for Michael Allen to get 1,200 yards and to share a workload with Jordan Houston?
I do, because here's the thing. So I'm going to tell you why. I think in Anai's offense, I think he's the kind of coach that will ride the hot hand. And I think you're going to keep feeding the beast. If he's on pace to run 1,200 yards, you're going to tell me that, that you're going to split carries with Jordan Houston. No disrespect to Jordan Houston. There's no way.
But Jordan Houston's going to be the starting running back, I would have guessed. I'm going to guess Jordan Houston's starting running back. Okay,
at least for UConn, for sure.
Okay, do you really think Michael Allen game 2 is like head over heels as Michael Allen?
If Michael Allen goes and runs for 250 yards against UConn,
you think Jordan Houston's going to lose a job, Michael Allen at UConn?
All I'm telling you, all I'm saying, right? None of us know, but I'm telling you.
I saw the future.
Making notes.
Hey, how did that Pack of Wolves Savage Wolves lottery work out
won
for
the
you?
championship. I'm telling you right now. I'm kidding.
No, but I'm saying like if he goes out and rushes for something stupid, ridiculous number, like he's gonna surpass him. Like,
yeah.
Like
Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
He rushed for 300, 400 yards. He does a who's the guy for Wisconsin? I mean, was it Melvin Gordon and then
Melvin
somebody
Gordon,
else did it? Yeah.
yeah,
He
Rod
rushed for
Dane,
400
maybe.
yards against just
Yeah.
Michael Allen against UConn, and then
Look,
Jordan Houston's like it's 100.
I'm
Okay.
not saying it's going to happen, but if it were to happen, then yes.
Oh,
he
I heard
becomes
you.
the-
Everybody heard you. We have witnesses.
we have it on
Everybody's
tape.
listening.
This is
Everybody's
being recorded.
listening. You guys are listening to this.
Yeah.
Well, and two things which I'll add to kind of summarize this. So first,
By
of
the way,
all,
this is an 8.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's
with
up there.
with an eye, typically he definitely throws the ball a good
He
bit
does.
more than even what Beck
Probably.
did. And secondly, too, like we're also taking into account that we're basically saying Michael Allen's going to beat out guys like Will Shipley, the running back from FSU. That's really, really good.
Mhm.
So like, there's a lot of guys who got to beat out
Wait.
to get that first team spot. But go
We're
ahead.
not talking. Oh, well, yes, we are making the ACC.
It's a 3-parter, yeah.
Yeah, first team
Yeah.
RC with over 12
It's
yards.
3.
So-
Well,
It's
yeah.
3 things got to happen,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
not just all.
But
So
four.
the
yeah.
7
But-
touchdowns is achievable.
That's the easy
Yeah.
one. Yeah, that's
Which
the
is
low-hanging
also-
fruit.
here's my question to you: which is more challenging, the first team All ACC or
Yes.
the 1,200 yards?
First team
1,200 yards.
RC.
Because if
See,
if
that's what I thought.
if you rush for 1,200 yards in today's game, you're making first team All ACC. I'm
What
assuming
if-
that's
what if-
rushing yards.
I mean, what if Shipley runs for 1,400?
Okay, well now we're
She
getting
might.
crazy.
Now we're splitting hairs.
What if Will Shipley runs for 2,000 yards, Michael?
Well, what's going
Let's
to happen
get
is
serious.
Will Shipley will get 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns. So that's then Michael
There you
Allen
go.
Yeah,
becomes the
Will Shipley runs for 2,100 yards and 5 touchdowns.
All right, so we got Connor and
He's
Benjamin both
unstoppable
start.
until he gets to the goal line. He can't do it.
just falls down.
So we got Connor and Benjamin here with 9s, Cam with 8. In game saying solid 8 because we still have Houston. They'll be rotated. Again,
Thank
we
you.
talked about that.
Whatever.
And then Michelle says, let's not start talking about injuries. I agree.
Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, Michelle.
Whose side are you on, Michelle?
Yeah. You got Josh and Chow
She's
with
on the
8.
side of intelligence making.
Well, and it's funny. Chow actually first commented at 3, and then he responded again at 8. So
Because he
I
heard
think
our
it was
argument.
I think it was Macon's convincing argument
It was
that
definitely
turned it
not
around, and then Vincent saying 9.
Yeah.
So
Vincent
Go to the
Yeah,
next
no.
one. Next
knows.
one. Next one.
So 10 all around. Yes. All right, next one here. NC
You
State
can see it.
softball. Yeah, I know. Did a great job again. I need to keep that in mind that for some reason these slides cut off the bottom. I don't know why. But NC State softball makes the NCAA tournament under first-year head coach Lindsay Leftwich.
Makes the NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
Makes the
I don't
NCAA
think that's hot at all.
Yeah.
I'd give
So
that like a
who's the best team in
3.
softball?
Clemson's pretty good. Florida State's been to the World Series like 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Duke, Virginia Tech are all good, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
State's talented. They just don't. They need to get some direction. So
yeah.
I'm gonna go 4
I think
or
she'll
5.
bring in some transfers.
I'm
I'll say
gonna
3.
go 5.
I think they'll make it.
Well, and just to give a little bit of context, Greg, and I'll let you add in here. So the last time we've been to the NCAA tournament was 2015. So we've gone 8 years now without being in the NCAA tournament. So it's been a bit. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, I was going to go 6 or 7 on this. Just trying to figure things out, get the lay of the land, get some of the people that you want in there. Not to say that it's not possible, but I'm going to go 7 on this.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me that the ACC and softball is like the ACC and baseball,
good.
where it's very stacked. There's a lot of really great teams, so there's a lot of opportunities to build that resume. So for me, I mean, yeah, I'm putting this as I'll put this as a 5. I think it would be huge. And for the fact we haven't made the NCAA tournament since 2015, that's big. So that's gonna be a tough hill to climb just for the program. But also, I don't think it's a very hot take because I really do believe in Coach Leftwich. I think Vincent saying here that she's the real deal. I think that there's a big turnaround coming. But also do with the fact there's a lot of opportunities to build a resume. So I think that if you can be around 500 in the ACC, that you're making the tournament. So
yeah, I mean we got some hitters. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We can score runs. It's now can you hold the other team under getting skunked, because we got skunked a couple of times last year.
Right, exactly. So did Macon did you do one? Did you?
I
do
said
any?
5. I
think you
said
did.
5.
Yeah,
I think I
5.
said 5.
Yeah, 5. Yep. So we got Connor here with a 2, Vincent with a 2, Benjamin with a 6 in game 4, Cam 5, Josh 5, Michelle 5, Child 4. So everybody's pretty confident, which is good. I like to hear that. So that means if you're confident, make sure to go to these games, y'all. Again, there's a lot of games in person. It's going to be an exciting season. So go check them out, y'all. I love the belief. Now let's go support these girls.
Hey, real quick, tickets are cheap, and if you're a member of the Wolfpack Club, you get priority points. So 2 reasons why you should go out and support these ladies.
There you go. All right, y'all. Our last fan hot take here. Bradley Rosner will lead the ACC in touchdowns.
If I had 2 of these, I would do that. No, it's pretty exciting.
No. Now, Greg is in a deep thought mode over there, but
he's singing Kumbaya to himself over there. He's trying to calm down, getting all hot and bothered.
If this was an NC State receiver will lead the ACC in touchdowns, I think that's a little less hot. But specifically, Rosner.
Right, it's like you're taking one. Okay. It's either you take the field or you take one, right?
What you're saying is this guy is the best receiver in the ACC, arguably the best receiver in the ACC.
Well, and has the most opportunities too.
So who? I guess the question is
who would the other options be?
No, not that, but like what was the number last year, right? Like what was the magic number?
I can get to you real quick.
The league. Because that kind of puts things in perspective. Here's the other thing. Like when you're scoring touchdowns in the air, one of 2 things is going, and it's kind of a stupid take, but either you're just destroying people or you're getting destroyed, right? Like, and we talk about Brennan Armstrong's gaudy numbers from 21, and a lot of that was because they were playing from behind, and it was they had to throw out of necessity.
Yep. That's a good point.
I don't know. I hope not, but I also hope that I hope I'm wrong and we're winning. I guess is the take I want to take.
The first thing which I love
is a 10 though, by the way. This is a 10.
I think
the one thing which I do gotta say is every single fan hot take that's been about football specifically has been red hot, which I love. I love how excited everybody is about football. But yeah,
they're full pedal to the metal on these. They're not just kind of sliding into it.
You didn't ask for room temperature takes. You asked for the hot take.
All right. I guess that's pretty interesting. I want to see you guys guess in the chat without looking it up who led the ACC in touchdowns last year. Do you know? You probably could guess it, but it's
Is it Downs?
No.
A.T. Perry?
Ooh.
Nope. I will give you a hint.
Hold on.
Give us the team.
Wait, give it the division.
Oh, if I give you the teams, we'll give it away.
Okay, give us the division. That's probably better.
Atlantic.
Will Shipley?
Was it Gadsden?
Mm-mm.
It wasn't Louisville. No way.
You guys are thinking he was drafted pretty early.
Zay Flowers?
Zay Flowers. Yeah. Zay Flowers.
This Boston College. No one thinks about Boston College.
Right. Zay Flowers. By the way, from North Carolina. Zay Flowers.
We let that one get out of state.
12 touchdowns.
12.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was thinking 10.
So A.T. Perry and Josh Downs were good guesses. They both tied for 11 touchdowns.
11.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay.
So you're saying that Bradley Rosner will have ballpark
a touchdown a game.
12 touchdowns, 1 touchdown.
That's
a game.
A lot. Yeah.
That's not to say he won't have 2 a game.
I think he had like 7 or 8 last year, if my memory.
I think he's going to be very important in state. Yes. I'm going to say he gets 8 touchdowns this season.
Well, and let me add one thing. So Zay Flowers, A.T. Perry, and Josh Downs. What do all 3 of those guys have in common? They were the focal point of the offense. Yeah. They were the guy of the offense. Rosner, I really hope is not the guy on our offense. I mean, like I'm looking at guys like Julian Gray, Keon Lassane, then backfield Michael Allen, Penix. Like we have so many guys that will be involved or should be involved in this offense. So I think that's really the biggest problem with this hot take of all, which is that just he won't have that amount of opportunities to lead the ACC in touchdowns. But I think he have a great year. I mean, I think he's going to be definitely a guy that will be talked about once the season's over. But being the ACC in touchdowns,
2 things 10. Real quick.
10 by the way.
Yeah, 10. I was getting ready to say 10. And then Thayer Thomas only had 4 last year who led the team.
Yeah. So I was trying to look it up here, like who led NC State.
Yeah, it was 4 for Thayer, 2 for Devin Carter and Lassane, and 3 for Daryl Jones. Mm-hmm. So, and we only had
basically balanced. Man, maybe 8's too high for Rosner. Let's go 7. Let's go 7 touchdowns for Rosner.
But here's the other thing we have to keep in mind too: completely different offensive philosophy. Like we had said earlier, where Anai likes to throw the ball, 100 times a game.
Well, I mean, like UNC loved to throw the ball, and I mean, and then even Josh Downs couldn't lead the ACC in touchdowns. So,
yeah.
I mean,
He dropped that one. He dropped that one against Georgia Tech, so he would have tied.
Oops. Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Hate that happen.
Yeah. Now, Cam coming in here saying, think about the goal line fades with Rosner. Hot take. Rosner will make You Got Moss on NFL countdown at least once. I mean,
at least once.
I'd be down for that.
That's a too hot take.
Yeah, I'll say that's not very much a hot take.
No,
I see that.
Yeah.
Now, especially with Armstrong's touch. He's got a nice touch on the ball.
True. Very true.
So there's also rule change going into effect this year. The clock doesn't stop after first downs.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
So
and you can't ice the kicker anymore. Is that right?
Correct. Well, you can ice them once. You can't call consecutive timeouts. Yeah. So if you have 3 in your pocket, you can't use all 3.
And does the clock not stop
at the last 2 minutes?
Yeah, 2 minutes. No, it does. Still under 2 minutes, it'll stop. But outside of 2 minutes,
I don't think it does.
No.
I think 2 minutes to go to the half or to the end of the game.
Correct.
No clock stoppage.
Correct.
Unless you call a timeout or whatever.
Or it's out of bounds, incomplete, whatever. But yeah, if you make a first down inbound.
If you get a first down, the clock's still going to go.
Inbounds.
Basically.
I'd have to take a look back about the under 2 minutes at the end of a half or end of a game.
But one, I will put my mortgage on it. So,
but I'm saying that because that'll affect the stats because I mean that's less plays, shorter games.
Yeah, they were that was the whole point of why they wanted to stop it because they said in theory you would have about 100 or so less plays per team per year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
with that rule change.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
What they're saying is they're taking football away from us. What they're saying.
Yeah.
I mean that's what the NFL does. So I'm
joking.
They're also part of that is doing that. So when they expand the playoffs, they can still say they're playing the same amount of games.
Hey, Greg, I'm ready for you to give me your mortgage. When Team A, the offense gains a first down, the clock will no longer be stopped to award a first down, except with less than 2 minutes remaining in the second and fourth quarters.
Was that no?
Greg knows. He's seen it before already. He's seen the future.
I literally watched a clip when they had the ACC official dude at the immediate kickoff, and that's not what he said.
Rick, you've been rickrolled. Greg.
Well, we know how bad they are, so maybe he just got.
I mean, it's true. He Ron.
They're just telling themselves now.
I'm gonna go. It was on the OG.
We'll settle this on Twitter later. Let's get moving.
Well, and this was by Sports Illustrated and SB Sports. I just looked at 2 of them, and they both said the same thing. But yeah, well, and kids again, like no stoppage at all. Like that's a huge change. But like less than 2 minutes, like that. Yeah, that's not as huge of a change because that's the important time. But anyway. All right, so
we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So that's it for the hot takes. But I do want to bring up one question here from in-game saying, will Concepcion play it all this year? Absolutely. No, he'll be involved.
Yeah, I mean, he'll get his 5 games. Yeah. Whether he burns the red shirt or not, that's more of a
leads the ACC in touchdowns.
I don't even think they redshirt him, Greg. I
wasn't. That wasn't the question though. So I said he'll play at least the 5, and then depending on whether or not they decide to redshirt him. So he's definitely going to play 5. I mean, why wouldn't you play these guys?
I got a question. I guess another question. You mentioned red shirts. Do you think State red shirts Javonte Vereen?
Again, I say the same thing. Like
I think they do if they can.
Yeah. But
because you got Penix, you got Tootle, you got the Sebro twins, you've got.
That's the thing. Does Penix stay healthy? That's the thing. I think.
Right, but that's the whole thing for any of them. Yeah. So it's just.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the golden question, though. Like, are you in a win now and burn a red shirt if he gives you your best chance to score touchdown?
It depends. It depends, right?
Right. And here's the other thing, and we've kind of talked about this, and I don't want to spend a lot of time. There's no guarantee he's here in 2 or 3 years with the whole NIL and transfer portal and all that. I hope that he is, but I just think your philosophy changes now on these red shirts.
Yeah, agreed.
He liked Bass Pro Shops, Greg. He's staying.
He did like some Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah. So, and then two kind of quick tweets of the week to kind of wrap this thing up here, y'all. So first and foremost, Scott Simpson here saying, pretty sure I'm stuck behind Philip Rivers in traffic. And it's like one of those like family like lineups.
Still not enough children.
There's really like probably 20 different figures on the back of this car.
A couple baby mamas too.
So when did his wife, when did his wife have their first child?
When he was in school.
He was their year of junior.
So his wife's been having children for basically 20 years.
Yeah, he has. That's crazy.
It's called a career. She's a career mom, literally.
Yeah.
That's really cool, though. That's really cool, but I mean, that's impressive.
You know, like when you retire, like they give you like a golden watch. She should definitely get like a golden pacifier or something.
How much do you want to bet they go for 11 so they can literally say we can field our own football team?
They can.
Philip with the quarterback.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm saying like literally all of our children.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're going for 17 because Philip Rivers is 17.
The crazy thing too is like there's 22. There's going to be 22 years between the oldest and the youngest.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's 100% happening. So
I think it's really cool.
If I had the money, I probably would have.
My grandfather was one of 10. And it's just pretty. I mean, it's just cool to me. I don't know. I think it's cool.
If I hit Mega Millions, I'm having more kids.
So our last tweet of the week here, got to give a shout here as it was announced that Pack of Wolves and Savage Wolves are coming together to do the 2023 Meet the Pack Day. Is taking place at the indoor practice facility.
Practice facility.
Yeah, practice facility.
Practice facility.
Talking about practice facility.
Last year it was held at PNC Arena, so it's kind of cool that now they're changing it over to actually a football facilities, which is nice.
I like that.
So August 19th, 5 o'clock to 7:30. In order to get in at 5 o'clock, you have to be a member of Pack of Wolves or Savage Wolves. Otherwise, you get in at 6. So I mean, if you're joining Pack of Wolves or Savage Wolves, you get a whole hour, ahead of time from the others. So
I think it's 6:30. It's 6:30 for general admission.
Okay, well, even better. So an hour and a half. That's so a long freaking way. Yeah. So a lot of time. So make sure to go and check them out, y'all. Go join and make sure to put that on your calendar. August 19th, 5 o'clock to 7:30 p.m. Indoor practice facility. Meet the Pack Day. We'll see y'all there. So anyway, y'all, so that is pretty much it for us here today, y'all. I mean, a jam-packed episode. So first of all, I got to give a huge shout out to everybody who joined in, everybody who was in the comments, giving their hot takes meters. It was awesome. A very, very fun episode. Yes, no making. This show was hot, just like that lighter. I love it. Well, thank you all so much again for tuning in. The first thing which I gotta say is that this week, once again, for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be coming out with 4 episodes a week for the next 2 weeks, y'all. Starting off with tomorrow, we're starting off our 2-parter with Savannah Tujay, daughter of
Garrett Tujay.
Garrett Tujay.
Yeah, Garrett Tujay. I know.
By the way, did you see the clip of that guy?
He's awesome.
Nuts.
Love him.
Yeah, I love
energy.
I love it. So yeah, part 1, part 2, and then we'll be coming out on Thursday and Friday, with Philip Danford from Inside Pack Sports as we break down the team this year. So very, very excited about that. So to make sure you do not miss out on that, hit that free subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're notified all your devices, as we're only 3 subscribers away from 8,200 subscribers. So please help us and get us there, y'all. If you enjoyed this episode, hit that like button and give us a follow. Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. But Michelle, Cam, In-Game, thank you all so much for joining in. We appreciate it, and we'll see y'all soon. Go Pack, y'all. See y'all soon.